Okay, so it looks like we are live, and as a matter of fact, we're about a minute and a half early. About a minute and a half early for once. And this is a special emergency broadcast, and we've had some action, I say, with Bitcoin. And so we're going to talk about this same subject that we've talked about before, folks. I hate to repeat myself, but you know, the question has come up, would you buy one Bitcoin? The first time we asked the question, Bitcoin was about $10,000, and we said, would you buy one Bitcoin or would you buy a Submariner? A Rolex Submariner. That was the question back then. Now the question is, with Bitcoin over $40,000, would you buy one Bitcoin or would you buy a gold day-date 40? A Rolex day-date 40, brand new, and a faux pay bracelet. You could throw in a faux pay bracelet and still have change left over, I think, even after you pay tax. Because right now, Bitcoin is at $41,960. $41,960. By my math, you should be able to buy a day-date 40 for list without a discount, and probably get a faux pay bracelet thrown in on the deal. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? Bitcoin got up to almost $45,000. So wait a second now. Did I misread? Is it? Oh, that's the volume. It's 44,600. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was still over 44,000. So 44,582. Yeah. 41,960 is the volume, the 24-hour volume, 41,000. It's interesting that those numbers are so close. Threw me off there for a second. But yeah, for almost $45,000, you could get a day-date 40 brand new, and the AD would probably throw in a faux pay for you and your lady friend, I would guess, for that kind of money. What do you guys think? Would the AD do that? Would they throw in some goodies on the deal? Leslie's in the house, and good evening, Mr. Bitcoin and everybody. And Leslie says hello to Stig and to myself. And Kyle's in the house. I wonder what his comment's going to be on this subject. Leslie says, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How about yourself? That's good. It's good to hear that everybody's doing good. It's been a while since we did a live broadcast. I have a meeting with a client tomorrow. I had a video shoot last week. Some things that Steve was supposed to do a show yesterday. Was it yesterday? Wait, today's Monday. Yeah, I think he was going to do a show. Maybe it was Friday. No, I think it was Friday he was going to do a show. And crickets. So I don't know what to tell you guys. Kyle is in the house, and he says cheers to Stig. All right, so let's see. Maybe, I wonder if you guys are still there. I wonder if I'm still broadcasting. That's a good question. So, according to my iPad, I still am, but I paused it. So, nobody's commented on my question. Let's pull up a Rolex day-date. Let's go back to a time check here while I do this. I'm going to pull up a Rolex day-date. A Rolex day-date. Okay, and let's see what we can find here. We're going to actually go to the actual official Rolex website. And where's Derek, by the way? Where is Derek? This is what he wants us to talk about. The day-date, the ultimate watch for prestige, and I think a stunner. Forget the prestige thing. I think it's a stunner. Stunner alert in the house. Okay, Rolex day-date. And so let's go right to the day-date 40. That's what these people want. They want the 40. I don't know. I would probably go for the 36, but they want the 40. There's not that big a price difference. Okay, so I'm going to say configure. And we're going to go over to the day-date 40. Select. See, I'm getting better at this, folks. Okay, and then we're going to choose the material. Of course, we want Where's yellow gold? Of course we want yellow gold. What are we, stupid? Okay, there's yellow gold. I'm going to say select that. And then the dial is fine. We don't need diamonds. We don't need to make it tacky. And the black dial is gorgeous. So we're going to say select that. And let's discover. Okay, so here we are. We're at $36,550. So you throw in a faux pay for yourself and your lady friend, and I think you're going to still be under, and taxes, and I think you're still going to be under the price of one Bitcoin. What do you guys think? And Kyle says, I would take the Bitcoin. Oh, I got to get my H2O. Stand by. Stand by. H2O alert. Okay. Can't do a show without my H2O. H2O. So you guys may have heard the reason why Bitcoin pumped today. Funny stuff. Elon Musk, he's been trolling people about Dogecoin, scam coin. And he had previously talked to Michael Saylor. By the way, there's my gold stunner. Talked to Michael Saylor about, no, he didn't talk to him about an SBGY002 like this. He should have. He should have said, there it is. That's in focus now. He should have said, Elon, you need a 002 stunner. Every good billionaire needs one of those. So anyway, Michael Saylor suggested that that Elon should buy some Bitcoin for the Tesla balance sheet. And they had a conversation on Twitter. This was some months ago, a couple months ago, probably 2 months ago, back and forth. And Elon asked, can amounts that sizable be purchased? In other words, literally in the billions of dollars. And Michael Saylor said, yes, and I'll share my playbook with you. So evidently he did share his playbook, because Elon announced today, or at least Tesla announced today, that they bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So that announcement drove the price up, because them buying it did not drive the price up that much. Well, it's already been going up, but it didn't spike it, because they do it secretly. They do it over the counter, these big deals, right? They don't do it on the exchanges. So they try on purpose to do it in such a way that it doesn't move the market, right? But eventually it does move the market, because eventually there are supply constraints, right? There's what they call supply shocks, where there's just not enough supply, folks. Supplies are getting thin on Bitcoin. By the way, I mentioned to you guys, I don't know if I told you about the ambulance that I was a bidder on. It's gone through 3 auctions now. They've pulled it off of the auction twice. The first time they pulled it off, they just said they didn't like the amount, which is kind of like not the point of an auction. The point of an auction is you get what you get, and you take the deal, and you take it on the chin, right, if you don't get quite what you want. But they pulled it out of the auction. Then they put it in with a reserve on it. This is this vehicle here. Then they put it in with a reserve. It went through the second auction. The reserve was not met. Now they've listed it a third time, and I've bid it up to $18,900, and it still says reserve not met. So these people are just playing games. They're playing games. I will tell you, it's a nice vehicle. Let me see if I can go to the pictures here. It's a nice vehicle, 50-some-odd thousand miles, garage kept. How come I can't go through the, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to go through the pictures here real quick. It's got the 14-foot box. It's a Braun body, which is top of the line. I mean, you don't get any better than those. And it's an International 4300 with the inline 6 diesel. That's a bulletproof diesel engine. A medium-duty truck. So this will hold about 6,000 pounds worth of cargo. You can load this puppy up with gear. No problem. right? Some of the normal ambulances that are not medium-duty trucks, you can only put about 1,500 to 2,000 pounds in them. So really not adequate. You really need to go with the medium-duty rig like this. So anyway, pretty nice vehicle down in Florida, which would be convenient for me because if I bought it, I could just go right over to DMV and get tags and everything for it. And so see, you can walk through from the cab back into the back. I think this will make a great mobile office, like a super cool mobile office. It's already got an inverter. It's already got, AC power, a DC power. It's got front and rear air conditioning. It's ready to freaking go, but they're playing games on the auction, playing games. And I talked to the guy at Indian River, and he says they have to auction it. It's a law, or it's their policy. They have to auction it. They can't do a side sale, right? And yet, this is the third time he's run it through the auction, and he's not accepting the auction results. So go figure. Maybe somebody can troll him a little bit in here. Why doesn't somebody go on and ask him some questions, some trollish questions? Maybe get this guy to relent. Maybe his boss is going to say, hey, you got to get it out of here. They've already bought the replacement ambulance. It was $350,000 for the new one they bought. This is a community right near Palm Beach. Very high-end, very affluent community. They buy their rigs without regard to cost. They get the best. They get the best of the best is what they do, and that's what we like on this channel. Let's see. Okay. Stig, I hope you're doing well on your side of the world. I would take the Bitcoin. Okay. Stig says, Craig, you look great as if you just bought some more Bitcoin before it went up. I'm not going to be greedy. I have plenty of Bitcoin. I'm going to leave some for other folks to get. And tell you the truth, I'm not going to spend this kind of money for a Bitcoin. Whoa, it's expensive. But I'll tell you, I mean, I've said this before. Every time it goes up like this, I've said this before. If I didn't have at least one Bitcoin, I would probably buy one at this price. I would not want to be a no-coiner. No, that's not what I would want to be. I would not want to be a no-coiner as we move forward with the economy the way it is and going to be, and with the way they're printing dollars and so on and so forth. I would not want to be a no-coiner. Not a good time to be a no-coiner. And David is in the house. I still have a fair amount of my GBTC stock. I sold some of it. I still have a fair amount. I'm considering. I've got a sell order in. I think at $82 a share, David. Just to give you a heads up, I've got a sell order in. I think it's at $82 a share on GBTC. Kyle's hanging around. We would love to see that ambulance on the channel. Craig, I think video Bob sold his Prevost, right? I heard him saying something about selling it or whatever. There's an MCI that's for sale that's on Facebook that is very interesting. It's a 1994. It's an Angola coach conversion. It's all walnut interior. Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. Let's do a time check here. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it relatively quick, I'll show you. This is intriguing. I've talked to the guy. I've inquired. Give me a second here. I've got to find it. Got to find it. I've got a link in my Google Docs. I created a document for it, and I have to pull it up here and get the link so that I can share it with you. I share these things with you guys, and if one of you guys decides you want it and you want to buy it, I would not have a problem with that. Do what you got to do. So I'll share it. I shared the ambulance, right? But that guy's playing games. Oh, I'm having trouble here copying and pasting the URL. my computer, this 10-year-old MacBook Pro that I use for these purposes, is acting up. I want to get the new one, but I want to wait until they come out with the higher end MacBook Pro with the 4 ports and everything. They only took it in the oh, now it's wanting me to log into Facebook. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Jeez. If it isn't one thing, it's another. Oh, crying out loud. Let's see if I can get into the daggone thing. Oh, no thanks. Oh, for crying out loud. All right. This is not going well. This is not going well, folks. Keep entertaining yourselves. I know this is boring, but I'm going to try to get in here and see if I can show you this thing. I'm not having a lot of luck here, but I will try. This should work. I'm putting in the correct password. This computer is so slow. Get the M1, I can move my other computer into here. 2-factor authentication. Oh my gosh, code generator. What are these people doing to me, folks? They should know this computer. Got to go to my phone and got to get a code. Give me a second. I will do this. Code generator. Here we go. After all this work, this better work. Save browser. Yes, I've said save browser before. Now you guys understand why I think that hackers should be shot. Hackers should be shot. You understand why I say this now? Because they cause all this. They cause all this. All these issues. It's the hackers. I'm not generally for summary execution, but in the case of hackers, yes, I support it. Summary, on the spot. Bam, you hacked. Bam. All right, here we go, folks. This is it. This is the MCI. It's got steering on the tag axle. It's a factory raised roof, a factory conversion by Angola coach. It was never a seated coach. Okay? And the photos are not great. And this is all original, okay, which is kind of cool. I like that it's all original. I can update some things if I want to, but I'd rather it all be original and me go from there. Look at the walnut, all walnut inside. Okay, this has over-the-road air, which is very important. It has over-the-road air. Very important in a coach. Okay? And it's a 40-footer. But see all the walnut? Residential refrigerator. Okay? 2 owners, always kept inside. Always kept in heated garages. Okay? 1994. That's an oldie but a goodie, folks. That's an oldie but a goodie. An oldie but a goodie. I say MCI. They're built like tanks, and they're very common, and so it's very easy to get them serviced. It's a Series 60 diesel, and anybody can work on that coach because they're so common. They're a lot more common than a Prevost. I like the Prevosts, but there are some things to be said about the MCI. Okay, Craig, would you trade all your Bitcoin to make yourself 20 years younger? How about 10 or 5 years? 20 years, definitely, like that. 10 years, probably. 5 years, that wouldn't make enough of a difference. But 20 years is a definite. 10 years, probably. 5 years, probably not. Let's see. Although I have gone downhill a lot in the last 5 years, so that's a possibility. Let's see. Kyle is in the house. And if they call anyone for a Pepsi, at least they must buy. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Tom is in the house. Okay. And good call, Lance. Wheels are important for sure. Oh, Lance. Okay. Kyle, I finally saved enough to buy a used Rolex, but my parents won't let me. They said that I have to use my money to buy a car for myself because I currently don't have one. Oh, okay. I missed that. Craig, if you get the call for the Pepsi, will you pick it up? Oh, you're talking about a Rolex. Okay. Yeah, Pepsi. If I think I can flip it and make some money, I would, yeah. But I don't think I'm going to get the call. My AD treats me like a redheaded stepchild. They're clueless, by the way, when it comes to the internet and a lot of things. But anyway, let's see. David says, your parents are wise. Listen to them. I don't know if it's a good idea, though, to own a car. That's 4 wheels in the road that you pour money into. So be wise in what you purchase. Buy yourself a Toyota, garage-kept Toyota, one owner, well-maintained. Even if it's got like 150,000 miles on it, I wouldn't go over that, but even if it's got like 150,000 miles on it and it's garage-kept, one owner, always been well-maintained, you'll probably get a good solid car that you can drive indefinitely. But definitely buy the Toyota. Do that. Do not pass go. Kyle and David, I agree with them. I'll buy a Rolex when I'm older, probably my mid to late 20s. There you go. And Tom's in the house. Would you service the coach as often as your watches, Craig? I had my Bluebird serviced annually in the fall before I would head down to Florida. I have a local guy here that's very good. He would lube the chassis and just check things out and everything. I wouldn't have the oil changed every year because there's a lot of oil in that puppy, and sometimes I would send the oil out and have it tested, and if it tested all right, I would keep it in there. But yeah, I believe in maintaining a coach. Absolutely, you got to keep up on the maintenance on those things. It's a whole different ballgame from a watch. Somebody commented on that video I did about servicing the watches, and they made a very good point. Even better than the one that I made, which is amazing, right? That somebody can make a better point. They said something like, if when you took your car in for service, they totally disassembled it and cleaned everything and checked everything and replaced any worn parts and then reassembled the car, then you're comparing a Rolex service, by Rolex to an automotive service, right? Then they would be equivalent, right? But that's not what you do when you service a car, right? You change the oil, you do a few things, you change a belt or whatever. They don't totally disassemble the whole car and go through the whole thing and then reassemble it again. So it's pretty astute that he clearly pointed out that the people that are comparing like a Rolex watch service to a car service, just there is no comparison. Not even close. let's see. I would do it, Rich, if that means we are back in 2011, going back in time. Well, yeah, because then you could rebuy the Bitcoin, but that's not fair. That would be cheating, I think. The idea is you'd have to give up the whole concept of Bitcoin, I think. You'd have to trade that for your youth. There you go. Jet, no go back time, just becoming younger and more broke. Well, you know, the money can be replaced. The years cannot. So there's that. Lance, get a Civic. Yeah, no, I don't know that I'd get a Civic. I'd take a Toyota over the Civic. I'm going to look at a car this week. Okay, tough call. Might have to do it because time on Earth is priceless. Of course. Eduardo's in the house. Craig, I sent you an email with pictures and one video of my new date just from Japan. We will look at it. David's in the house. Reference going back in time and younger. Yes, only younger today. No thanks. Well, what's wrong with younger today? The future's very bright. But if they said you could never buy back Bitcoin, even after you give it all up, oh boy, that's tricky. That's tricky because that's the future. Cliff Dweller, what happened with the ambulance? That thing looked tough. The steering wheel looked a little abused. We just looked at the ambulance. Let's go back. Where is it? We'll show you again. We just went through the pictures. It's relisted. It's been through 3 auctions. The guys pulled it from 2 different auctions. So this is it. It's pretty freaking nice. It's pretty freaking nice. So, yeah. Why is that cut off? Okay. Yeah, the leather wrapping around the steering wheel definitely needs to be replaced. Somebody probably had rings or something that was a frequent driver. Somebody was hard on that leather wrap steering wheel. No doubt. So yeah. But yeah, it's relisted. It still says now it's listed with a reserve. The last 2 times it's had a reserve on it, and I'm the high bidder, but it's bid at 18,900 and it still says reserve not met. I think this guy's going to go through another auction here and not sell it. And I'm hoping that his boss eventually puts his foot down and says, you got to sell that puppy. And then he puts it in for no reserve and then I can snag it. I'm hoping that's what happens. Because this is 3 times now he's tried selling this thing. Let's see. Hello, hi Bree. The answer for me is Bitcoin forever. There you go. Well, Bree's already got a beautiful watch, beautiful faux pay, so she doesn't need a Rolex. I think she's in the Bitcoin camp and the Grand Seiko camp. She's in those 2 camps. Derek's in the house. Craig, did you get a new day date? We were just talking about a new day date. That was the subject of the show, but you cannot tune in late anymore. I'm not going to go back and talk about what we talked about in the beginning of the show. Just because you were late, Derek, you're going to have to rewind and watch from the beginning. Sorry about that. And you don't even have a note for being late. Triforce Rich is in the house at Briefit Dance. If you went back 20 years, you'd be in diapers. Okay. Kevin D in the house was in Florida and drove a 2020 Honda Accord for 10 days. Have to say it was very legit. Yeah, but I think the Toyota's a little bit better. A little bit better. Okay, Triforce Rich. They're both very good. Toyota number 1, Honda number 2. Triforce Rich says, yes, I would be. Haha. What are you going to do with an ambulance, Craig? Convert it into a mobile office. They are really well suited for that. So that's the plan. If I get it. I'm not going to pay too much for it. But these things are really well made and they're pretty freaking awesome. So there you go. What else? Well, we can show the Rolex one more time. We'll show the Rolex for Derek. This is the Rolex we were talking about. And that's why I'm wearing green. I'm honoring Rolex by wearing green. That's the Rolex we were talking about. The question of the day was, would you buy that or one Bitcoin? Would you rather have that Rolex Day-Date, brand new from an AD, or one Bitcoin? Bitcoin's over $40,000. You could get that Day-Date and a faux pay bracelet and have change coming back on the purchase. Bitcoin is currently at $44,380. If some of us went forward 20 years, we would also be in diapers. Good point. Very, very good point. Whoa, some thoughtful people in the mix here. Let's see. Derek says, when are you getting that Rolex, Craig? I called the AD today. They didn't answer the phone. And then, get this, I went on the web and searched them, Colonial Jewelers, and they're closed today. They were closed. Just straight up closed. What can I tell you, folks? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I'm serious. This is what happened. I'm telling you what happened today. So even if I wanted to buy the Rolex today, they were closed. I don't know. I don't know, folks. I'm almost ready to give up. I'm almost ready to give up on people. You just can't trust them anymore. Let's see. Tom says, what are you hoping for GS in 2021? I've given up on them too. They won't listen to me. I've told them what to build. I've told them what the perfect watch would be. And they don't even return my calls. They don't return my emails. They don't care. So what can I tell you? They just don't care, folks. Some people just don't care. Let me go to the email here. Go to the email. Let's first look at Eduardo's stunner alert on the channel. Everybody get ready for a stunner, because Eduardo doesn't fool around. Look at that puppy. Nice sharp fluted bezel. Nice. Oh, what happened to that one? Okay, that was a video. So yeah, we don't do videos. Okay. All right, so that's a good-looking puppy. That's a good-looking puppy. And let's see here. Lance sent an Omega. Let's pull this up. Oh, I don't know, though. This is not... I'm not super impressed. I'm not super impressed with this one. It's okay, but I guess it's a ladies, right? Clearly 18 karat gold. I don't know, but just something about it, it just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't pop for me. But $10,000 is not a hateful price, and it's in Connecticut. It's in Lance's neck of the woods. What size is this one? It says it's a men's. Looks small. Doesn't say the size. Oh well. Oh well. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Let's see if we got anything else to show. Somebody contacted me. Who contacted me? Okay, Huh. Okay. All right. Whoops. I shouldn't have showed that. That's an email contact. It had his contact information on it, but at least I was quick. Anyway. Well, if somebody uses a contact form on my website and contacts me and sends me a bunch of information, they better not think it's private, because it really isn't on the internet. Nothing on the internet is private. Okay, so let's get the Rolex before Elon touts it, then it's too late. Let's see. Well, that's nice. Brett owns that exact watch. Which watch? Which watch? The day chest? I didn't know he had that one as well. Does Brett still enjoy his gold day chest, Kyle? Does Brett? Oh, Brett. My gosh, I think he loves it. That's a stunner. Eduardo's in the house. I hope he does. They sell for $20K now. Haha. He loves that watch. He wears it every day. There you go. They're probably pretty hard to find, though. That was basically a new old stock watch. I think those are not super easy to find. Carlos is in the house. Hey, Craig and all. At Panama Airport, waiting for the mandatory COVID test to go to my home. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Let's see. Tom says, nice. Derek says, Carlos, Craig tried to buy a new Rolex Day-Date today and couldn't get on with them over the telephone. Yeah, they were closed. Can you imagine? Just closed. The whole place was closed on a Monday. Oh, well, some people just don't want money. They just don't want the money. Hey, Craig, how have you been? Cheetown in the house. I can't complain. I can't complain. It's cold here, though, right now, so that's not good. But Kyle's in the house. Brenton has the same watch as Eduardo and the all gold one, too. That's great. Okay, so he's got a good rotation there. And Carlos says, Derek, it's only a matter of time until Craig leaves the dark side. I'll tell you what, every time I look at the 002, I'm just freaking amazed. Just absolutely amazed. If I get that in focus a little better. There we go. That looks pretty sharp. I mean, just freaking amazed. And I see these watches that people post on the different groups on Facebook and things. They come into my feed and I see them. And so many of them are just ugly watches, just horrendous looking. And I'm thinking, and some of them spent more money on them than I spent on this. And I'm just thinking to myself, my gosh, what's wrong with these people? And it's not a subjective thing. It's that the watches are objectively ugly. They just are ugly. In my opinion, they just are ugly watches. You guys can admit it. Let me know in the chat. Do you think that a lot of people buy ugly watches? Let me know in the chat. Put a Y if that's a yes for a lot of people buying ugly watches. Okay, present company excluded. Now you guys know, you guys get good-looking watches. But a lot of people that post in the forums and in the groups and so forth on Facebook, do they or do they not post pictures of ugly watches? Put a Y if that's a yes, and put an N if it's a no. Let's see. Let's do a quick little poll here. We got 21 people watching. Let's see what they say. Let's see. Can you still get an 18238 for around 15K? Maybe. It's not as easy, but you might be able to get a good one for that price. But I think you're going to have to find a good one, and maybe they'll be asking 17 and you offer 15, something like that. Eduardo says, my AD has a yellow gold, white Roman dial, Day-Date 40. Let's see. I'm sure glad I left Chicago. Of course, the 18238s, the whole thing is the condition. That's really what's going to determine the price, is the condition. Because you can buy a worn out one probably any day of the week for 10 grand, right? Any day of the week. One that's beat. I'm sure glad I left Chicago for San Diego. It's down to 0 in the Windy City. Woo! I haven't looked recently. How is San Diego weather today, Cheetown? Eduardo says yes. A lot of people are buying ugly watches. Tom says, I still like and wear the 005. Well, the 005 is a stunner. Cliff Dweller says yes. A lot of people buy ugly watches. And Carlos is in the house. I had great weather in my tour of U.S., Mexico, Gulf Coast. Well, yeah, this time of the year it's gorgeous down there. It is gorgeous, but you didn't make it to Sarasota. That was a big mistake, Carlos. You got to go make a beeline to Sarasota. Why don't you go there now and just stay there until the end of March? That would be a good plan. Go there right now to Sarasota and stay there till the end of March. I may be going down there soon myself. If I win this auction, I'll be going down to Florida. Straight on down there. Let's see. Kyle says, yes, they're buying ugly watches. Cheetown, Craig, would you accept the offer to buy a brand new Nautilus for $30K if you had the chance to sell it on for $120K? Well, yeah, I would flip an ugly watch. If people want to buy ugly watches, I'd flip an ugly watch to them. And Kevin says, ugly and too big. Yes, correct. That's correct, Kevin. Cheetown's in the house. He says, yeah, see, this watch is like right at the max size. This is 38.5 mils. And it is just right up at the max size that I would wear for a dress watch. Just right up there. I would not want it any bigger. 38.5 mils and about 10 mils thick. Let's see. Kyle, great weather in San Diego today. Sunny and around 60. So you can wear a nice jacket, nice leather jacket. Absolutely. Kyle's in the house. He says it's nice. That's nice. Stig's in the house. Carlos, in Key West, they have removed the statue of the sailor and the nurse. I assume the same issue in Sarasota. Maybe, but Sarasota's not quite as liberal as Key West, so they might still have it there. That'd be a good question to try to figure out. Kevin's in the house. Spent 4 days in Sarasota. Smart move. Should have made it 40, though. Kyle's in the house. Austin Daniels said, did you make it to St. Armand Circle? And did you make it to Siesta Beach on Siesta Key? Did you make it to those two places? Let's see. Austin Daniels said the Royal Oak is as interesting as Grandma's crochet. Damn. Tom's in the house. Are you planning to do live shows from the ambulance on road trips? I would if I had a good internet connection, a good solid internet connection. I would do it. Absolutely. Yeah. It would be, Carlos is asking about the ambulance. No, he canceled the auction. It's being auctioned again, and I am the high bidder, and I don't know what he's going to do. It still says reserve not met, and so I don't know what this guy's going to do. This is the third time around, okay? But it really checks all the boxes. It's a medium-duty rig. It's got the 14-foot Braun box on it. It's low mileage, garage kept. By all accounts, it's a nice truck. But he's just playing games. The guy's playing games. See, there's the high bid is me, $18,900, and it says reserve not met. So I'm hoping that if he goes through a whole nother auction here and doesn't sell it, it's got 6 days left, 6 days and 23 hours, and he doesn't sell it, I'm hoping that his boss finally puts the foot down and says, you just got to run this thing, no reserve, and whatever we get, we take. Because he has told me straight up they have to auction it. They can't sell it another way, right? They can't do a side sale or whatever. They have to auction it. And so if you have to auction it, you should accept the results of the freaking auction. And this is all the money for it. This is good money for the truck in a wholesale auction like this. This is good money for them to get. Okay? It's not peanuts, right? Oh boy. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. Kyle says, is there a way you can phone them on the ambulance and make a solid direct offer? That's what we just talked about. Yeah, no, they won't do it. He says he won't even give me a number. He won't even tell me what his, quote, reserve is or what he has to get out of it. He says he's not allowed to do that, right? Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. There's one up here. There's a dealer in Pennsylvania that specializes in buying old ambulances and reselling them. And he's got a really nice medium-duty ambo at his place. He's asking $28,000, and it's very similar. It's a pre-DEF I like the ones that are pre-DEF fluid, right? The 2009, 2010, they started phasing in that DEF fluid. It's separate fluid you have to pour in. That's a pain in the neck. So I like them pre-DEF fluid, and I like this International. I like the diesel engine that's in this International, but he's got a medium duty. I think it's a Chevrolet medium duty up there that is very nice. That he's asking $28,000. So that gives me a comparison. This one retail is probably worth around 28, maybe 30,000. But this is a wholesale auction. This guy should not expect to get full retail, because the ones that the guy in Pennsylvania is selling are fully serviced. He gives like a limited warranty on them. I mean, he's a straight up retail dealer, and he specializes in ambulances. He had a 4-wheel drive one a couple months ago. I missed out on that one. Damn, that would have been nice. It was a medium duty 4-wheel drive, but I think it was like 65 grand. But it was nice. Okay. But I digress. Okay. Let's see. Tom says, maybe you have to round up your offer to meet the reserve. Yeah, but see, I don't think I'm just going to keep bidding this thing up. And that's what happens. If I put another bid in, it will take the bid. And I'm bidding against myself, right? I'm the last 6 bids. Let me see if I can log in here, and I'll show you what I mean. See if I can get signed in. Remember me. I'll put in another bid just to show you guys how it works. Well, now, why do I want to do that? I don't want to do that. I don't want to bid it up. Okay, so here it is, reserve not met, and 6 bids. I'm the high bidder, right? If I click on the bid history, you can see here it was me, the first bid, then another guy, then it's been me. I've bid it up against myself because I wanted to try to hit to where it says that the reserve's been met. I was hoping he had a reserve at like 18 grand or something, right? I said no, and I kept bidding it up. Now I'm up at 18.9, and we still haven't met the reserve. So I figure my strategy now is let the auction proceed, and if nobody outbids me, let this auction expire and force him to relist it again. Because I think every time he does this, he's shooting himself in the foot. I think he's discouraging potential buyers. Just like a house, right? If you monkey around and put it in for too much money and it's on the market for too long, people think there's something wrong with it, right? And people they get disenchanted. So the first time I bid, there were like 4 or 5 bidders, right? And it went up to 16 something, and he didn't take it. And the second time, there were maybe 3 bidders. Now we're down to 2 bidders, right? I think he's shooting himself in the foot here, and I think I might end up getting this thing even cheaper the next time he runs the auction. I think it'd be funny if I end up getting it for like 12 grand because nobody's bidding on it, and they put it in for no reserve. So we'll see. Let's see. Stayed at the Hyatt Siesta Key, says Kevin. Craig, what are you planning to do with the decommissioning? I just said a mobile office / kind of like super cool mini RV type of thing. Yeah. I'd put, I researched, Wabasco makes a really good heater / water heater / air heater combo that runs off the diesel. So you could put that in. And then there's another company that makes really high quality air conditioners that this already has air conditioning front and rear when the main engine is running, right? So it's already got great air conditioning when the main engine is running. But there's a 12-volt air conditioner that's made mainly for boats and things like that that's really high end. I think it's around 5 grand. And I could put that in there so that when I'm not running the main engine, I would have air conditioning. And then if I have the Wabasco heat, I'd have heat, put about a 80 or 100 gallon water tank in, you know, so I could make it so that I could do overnight trips and things like that in it, and have a whole office set up in there. So that would be kind of be the the play on it. So I think it'd be a really cool, like, heavy duty mobile office slash mini, like, RV type thing. So a lot of people have done it already. I mean, I'm not inventing something new. A lot of people have bought old Ambos and converted them, but a lot of them buy worn out ones that are, you know, kind of over the hill, like 250,000 miles on them and stuff. Don't really want to do that. I want to get a cream puff if I get one. And this one appears to be a cream puff. Let's see. Kyle says, I need to take a trip to Florida soon. I haven't been down there in a few years. David's in the house. RE, ambulance live streams. You could do ugly watch interventions, light siren blaring through town, pulling up to a watch shop, running in and saying, stop. Yeah, hey, good point. Although it's against the law for me to use the lights. I can have them, but I can't use them. But maybe we'll do it anyway. Yeah. Kevin's in the house. I spent 10 days feeling, I believe, a partial move, 6 to 8 months, a year is in my near future. Okay, good. Triforce Rich is in the house. Craig, did you inherit anything sentimental after your father's passing or speech? Yeah, a couple of little things. And one thing I did want to talk about, let me grab it real quick, because maybe somebody is good at math and they can figure this out. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Okay. All right. We need a researcher and a mathematician on this one. Okay. So this is a plaque from Montgomery County Board of Realtors, Montgomery County, Maryland, which is a suburb right outside of D.C. At the time, it was one of the wealthiest counties in the country. It still is. And so this was when my dad was actually the top MLS lister. So he was the #1 listing agent. This is for residential listings, and he had more than $2 million worth of listings. So this is from 1979. So this would be a good exercise for somebody to research to be the top residential lister in Montgomery County, Maryland today. What would be the value of houses that you would have listed? So then we can get a barometer on how much the dollar has lost purchasing power. He was #1 in the county with like 6,000 agents, and he sold $2 million worth of real estate. I'm betting that to be #1 today, you'd probably have to sell $50 million worth. Okay, it'd be interesting to see what the number would be today. And that would illustrate to us the amount of purchasing power that the U.S. dollar has lost. Okay? Another thing, of course, the most sentimental thing, there are some other things that I got, but the most sentimental thing is the flag. This was the flag that was on his casket that the Navy guys folded up, and they presented it to my sister, and she later gave it to me. And so that's obviously very special. He got in the Navy. He lied to get in. He was too young. He lied to get in the Navy, and he got in the Navy, and he was deployed into the Pacific Theater, and the war was wrapping up at that point. And he's always said that the reason the Japanese surrendered was because they heard that he was in the mix. And then talk about a rocket scientist This is a little booklet from TRW Systems, and it says space data on it. And it's got like a bunch of data in here, right? A bunch of charts and data and stuff that rocket scientists used, right? Back in the day. So here you go. So that was my dad's. Pretty funny. And I had something else. Oh, I have his passes from when he was like at like different space centers and stuff, like his IDs. And where did I leave them? I think I left them in my other bag, but I don't think I can grab them right now. But yeah, I've got those. Those are really cool. So to prove that he was an actual rocket scientist. Really funny. And one said something about something rocket team or something. I mean, it specifically said rocket on it, right? It was pretty wild. Okay, let's see here. It's Ambo or Lambo, says Tom. Kyle says, great question. Don't put in another bid. His reserve is either 20K or 25K. There you go. Exactly. Let's see what. Well, we don't know. We have no idea. He might think it's worth 35K. He might be delusional. So who knows? But he'll be brought down to earth at some point, I think, hopefully. Hopefully his boss will say, hey, this thing's got to go. It's sitting outside, and the new one's in the garage, and at some point they're going to say, hey, this thing's in the way. Get rid of it. What the heck are you doing? Let's see. R-Wags, how are you? I didn't notice that R-Wags was in the house. Yes, he is in the house. Craig, what do you think of the Toyota FJ Cruiser? Those trucks are skyrocketing. I don't like the way the windows are kind of like, smaller. I just didn't like the way they did that whole thing. I think they should have stayed more true to the original. So no, I would just go with a regular Toyota Land Cruiser. It would be the way that I would go. I'd just go with a Land Cruiser. Better truck anyway. R Wags is in the house just listening and enjoying the Craig Ship live stream. Derek in the house. If you can get a desk in there, it could be an office for you to do road shows inside. It already has a desk. And I can also make a workstation on the, I'll tell you what my plan is, my tentative plan if I get it. Let me show you the bench here, and I'll show you what I would do. Okay, so that bench is about 6 feet long. And what I would do is I would have like a Murphy bed. You know how they fold up vertical against the wall? When it was folded up vertical against the wall, the back side of the Murphy bed would be a computer standing workstation with two monitors and the keyboard and the whole 9 yards. And so when you folded down the Murphy bed to make it a bed at night, all that stuff would be on the underside of the bed, if you're with me. And it would fold down literally all the way to the other side of the center of the coach. It would fold down and meet a little lip across the other side. So it would literally fill that whole area, and it would basically be a full-size bed. Or it would be a little shorter than a full-size bed. I could make it a little longer than 6 feet because you could take that handrail off and overshoot a little bit. And so it could almost be a full-size bed. It would be absolutely as wide as a full-size bed and almost as long. And it would be long enough for me because I'm not quite 6 feet tall, so it would be long enough. And so it'd be really cool. During the day, you would just fold it up vertical against where that window is there, and you'd have your full standing workstation, which I like. I like having a standing workstation. And then you would still have the other desk across the way from it. Let's get to that picture. See that whole desk there and the swivel seat there? You'd still have all of that. And you could, on the left there, you could put a nice sink in and everything. And then up above, you could put a microwave oven. I mean, you could rig it up pretty good and use all the built-ins that are already there. A lot of people tear out the built-ins that are there. They gut them and everything. And I think that's ridiculous. I mean, you got all this high-end built-ins, and you're going to tear all that stuff out? 90% of the work's already been done for you, and you're gonna start over? Not so sure about that plan. But anyway, let's see. I knew you were here, R-Wags. I can feel it, the force. Thank you, Derek. I got my test. I can go home now. See you later. Okay. Let's see. Hard hitter. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi. Craig, your dad was a great American hero, part of the greatest generation ever. Yes, absolutely. They were not wimps. They were not wimps. Megan's in the house. Hey, Craig, Carlos, and the boys. Well, glad you could make it, Megan. That means it's almost time to wrap it up. It's almost 6 o'clock. Absolutely. Tom says safe travels. Carlos, yeah, he's almost home. Yeah, most accidents happen close to home. So, yeah, drive careful, Carlos. Don't be watching the show while you're driving down the road. And let's see. Kyle says, rest in peace. He seems like a great man. Yes, he was. Fantastic. Yes. Let's see. B-Serve says, hey, Craig and all. B-Serve, what did your father think of the new Space Force? Didn't talk to him about that. Let's see. Megan, he's not a big government guy, so I don't know if he'd be good for expanding things. So, yeah. Megan B. Service, I thought you stood with me. Okay. Stand with Marilyn Manson. Let's see. Kevin D. Top-rated MLS agent in Montgomery County, 2019. Residential was $18.9 million. Oh, okay. So that's $20 million. So that's 10 times. That's not bad. 10 times as much. But that means that, the dollar has lost a lot of the purchasing power since then. That's for sure. So that good research, Kevin. I wonder what the number was in 2020. Maybe they don't have that information yet. And also, here's the other thing. Maybe my dad was better than the top one in 2019. Maybe my dad outperformed him. So maybe it's more than 10 times, right? Because maybe if the guy was as good as my dad, maybe he would have sold like 30 million worth or something, right? Or 50 million worth. Maybe he was like half as good as my dad, in which case he would have sold double 18.9 million if he was better, right? So there's that. Because my dad was pretty much all that. So David's in the house. Craig, keep in mind that the D.C. housing market has surged well above almost all other U.S. housing markets since 1979. It's always been a pretty strong market. I mean, it's always performed pretty well. And there are other markets that from time to time have performed better. But yeah, it's always been a pretty strong market because the government continues to grow. That's what the government does. So yeah, so this has been a good place to own real estate. Yes. And people are putting money in real estate as a store of value because the dollar is not a good store of value, right? And so there you go. And now, of course, people are starting to put money into Bitcoin because they feel like it is a better store of value. Did your father still have the snowflake? Rest in peace. No, he gave it away. He gave away almost everything well before his passing. Let's see here. Would you keep the paint and writing on the outside of the ambo? What do people think it's in service? I have to check all the regulations. You can't have certain things on there. But yeah, the paint, I like the paint. I like the paint job. But I would check and see what you can and can't have on there. A buddy of mine said, I'm going to pull up a picture of the outside here. A buddy of mine said I also own the domain name frederickcounty.com for Frederick. I have frederick.com and frederickcounty.com. He said I should put frederickcounty.com on there and put like a really cool like seal on there for Frederick County, my own seal that looks real official, and kind of like dress it up so it still looks like it's some kind of a real official vehicle, so I could like park anywhere I want and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, if the regulations say that I can leave all the lights on there as long as I don't use them, I think that's what the regulation is, because that's what it was years ago. You could have lights like that, but you just couldn't turn them on. Then yeah, I wouldn't remove them. I wouldn't go to the time and effort of removing them if I don't have to. So some people remove them just because they don't want them there, but no, I think they're cool. I have no problem. If I'm driving in the left-hand lane, my guess is people will get out of my way. That's a good thing. They should get out of my way anyway. Let's see here. Craig is plan B to buy a VW van and put a V8 Chevy engine. It's not big enough. I don't think vans have enough room. This one has a 14-foot box, 96 inches wide. That's as small as I would want to go. It's a good sweet spot. It's 25 feet long. You can still park at a lot of places. It's maneuverable. It's a good sweet spot. It's not. But these people that have these vans, the van life thing and all this stuff, I think they're too small inside. I think there's just no getting around it. There's just not enough room there to do what you need to do. People shoot them with real wide angle lenses to make it look like they're big and stuff. They're not. Let's see. Craig, your dad and the greatest generation saved the world with 33 millimeter watches on their wrist. These wimpy guys with 43 millimeter watches have nothing on them. Good point. Cheatown. Triforce, if Dogman had listened to you a few years ago and bought BTC instead of numerous steel Rolexes, where would he stand today? We could actually do the calculation. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. That'll really depress him, I think. He might become suicidal if he does the math on that. Math is a powerful thing. Didn't somebody give Archie a Bitcoin years ago? I think he lost it, didn't he? Didn't he lose his password or something? I don't know. Cheatown, what are you saying? Craig's Grand Seiko diver is 43 millimeters. There you go. Yep, it's a big one. It is a big one. There you go. But I'm not a member of the greatest generation. So there you go. B-Serve, you think he didn't sell it years ago. You're right. Okay. Craig isn't a wimpy guy. I'm not talking about him. Okay. Megan's in the house. AC3 probably sold his Bitcoin at the dip and bought a pizza. Oh, jeez. Craig, you could change those red lights to amber lights so you can have them on in hazard situations. Yeah, but I don't know if you could even do that. I don't know if they'd let you run a whole bunch of amber lights. Maybe. I wouldn't want to push my luck. I'd probably just run like normal emergency hazards. But yeah, that's a good point. But no, I'm not going to go to expense of changing them out and doing all that stuff if I don't have to. If you know what really hit the fan, I mean, those lights might come in handy sometime, right? You might want to risk it and burn those puppies and make everybody get out of the way. Might come in handy. You never know. Let's see here. Yeah, ViewSurf says I didn't even read this, and we're on the same wavelength here. When the S hits the fan, the rules won't matter anymore. Good point. Let's see. Sent an update email. Okay, let's check the email, and then I've got to wrap this puppy up. Wrap it up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap this puppy up. Wow. Look at the stunner. Stunner alert on the channel. Absolute stunner alert. Look at that. How cool is that? How cool is that, I say? Yes. I like it. I like that the most, that shot. I like the way the blue's popping. That's a great one and done watch. That's a one and done watch. That's a wear that, sell all your other watches, buy Bitcoin with all the other money, and then just wear the 005 and just watch the Bitcoin go through the moon. Go to the moon. The moon, I say. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up. You got me thinking about the van life. Yeah, I think the vans are too small. I just don't know about that. I just don't think that's the way to go. I think if you're going to go that route, go the ambulance. But get a really good one. Get one that's really been well kept, that's been well maintained. They're not all the same, folks. Some of them have been rode hard and put away wet, you know. Some of them are kind of rough, and some of them are from the Rust Belt states up north. Watch out. Because even though the whole box is aluminum, the undercarriage, the frame, and all that can all rust, right? So you want to make sure you get a really good one from a southern state that's rust-free, that's been well maintained. I would say with well under 100,000 miles on it. And also watch the hours. Make sure it doesn't have more than like 6,000 or 7,000 hours on it. On a medium-duty diesel engine, that's respectable. So there you go. I already do van life, says Trashy Larry. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. It's been fun. It's been real. And we'll see you guys next time. That's what we'll do.